I'll be right back. What's going on, everyone? Two of you. What was the other one? Of course, I forget everything. Everything. I forget everything. Oh my goodness, how is everybody's Thursday going today? I was supposed to write down more than one topic, but somebody had suggested writing to talk about some topics, so I'm not just sitting here rambling about stuff, which was a great idea. And then, of course, I remember one of them, and then I can't remember the other ones. So, yeah, things are going good. I guess I can. We're still tinkering, getting ready. Headed to an indoor race at Coleman, Alabama, in Pointers for my first indoor race. I've never raced a indoor dirt race before, and it has been many, many moons since I have run indoor on concrete, on Coke syrup. So, but if it's anything like bull ring racing, which I assume indoor is going to be bull ring, because there's no real big tracks like that. You would think that getting off the corner, obviously you want to get off the corner good, but I find that especially on tight bull rings, you want to be able to enter the corner. And I'm not saying that this is the adjustment of all adjustments, but I have a tendency to put more positive camber in my left front to really set the cart getting into a corner on a bull ring. It's something you might want to contemplate. If it gets a little tight on entry or something like that, typically it hinges over to the right rear, and normally you wouldn't suggest that, but there's something about bull rings and having more positive left front camber that helps. So putting a flat or two in there to get it to take a set, so when you turn in, it really gets on that right rear and takes a shot for the center and off the corner. But it's honestly, it's hard to say. I don't want to point anybody in the wrong direction, but yeah. Hello. Just tinkering here. Cart is scaled and ready to go. I got all my 5.3. I got my 5.3 brand new pads, because last year I was a bonehead and never got the pads for the titanium rotor. Those got installed. I'd still have to make a short out of that, but we got snap your neck. About ready. About ready for Hunterstown next weekend, which is coming up in a hurry. Indoor dirt is loud and fast. Yeah. Hey, what are those axle bearings cover things that everyone's talking about? Where do you get them? I have the sticker on my cart. Hold on. We'll, just so I was going to say the wrong name again. Sky High Seal Savers. There is he's on Facebook, Jake Hansen. There's his number. Sky High Seal Savers. So we can we'll go to, oh, geez, sorry guys. Tripped over my thing. But this is what they are. So what you do when you get them is, here's your inside seal, and then these are the seal savers. So you get, I used, I think he used something else, or, it was super glue, but I used this the last time. Focus there. I got the gel just so it stuck a little better. And basically what it is, you take your bearing apart, take the outer metal seal or seal saver or whatever they want to call them, the metal ring here. You pull your actual seal out, and then you clean, make sure that's good and clean, and then you put super glue on it and then attach your seal to it, and then boop, and they snap in like so. It'll be the first time I'm running them next week here, so hopefully they hold up. uh, Hunterstown has turned into a big circle. And I don't know how I'm gonna do, so we'll see. But it's definitely for cleaning bearings and stuff. It's such a better concept than trying to peel off that metal rig and get to your seals to get to your bearings there. Indoor. All right, I'm skipping comments here. On treads, indoor bull rings with 2 inches of stagger works for us, both front and rear. Yeah, yeah, especially tight turns, more rear stagger. My base, and I won't say Selins Grove. It's a bigger track, 5th mile, and this day I ran, I think, 1 inch and 1/8 inch and a quarter rear, something like that. But all the bull rings around me, 1.5 inches is kind of mandatory to get the cart to turn in the center corner. Yes, putting more rear stagger in your cart will take cross out, but if you increase front stagger, it will add that cross back in. So you have to keep that in mind. And then the more you both are it's going to want to turn in the center. Now, there is a point to where, that I don't want to say upsets the cart. It's going to make the cart do different things that you weren't anticipating when you go crazy with but yeah, rear stagger definitely helps. Even if you're running your standard 1.5 inch, increasing your rear definitely helps turn in the center. No way I'm alive. Yeah, I know. We did bull ring first. Some of the locals suggest 520 gear ratio 1052. Okay. Yeah, bull rings are going to be definitely a smaller driver. I don't have a 10 yet. I tried to order from JC Specialties, and they didn't have any 10s yet. Matter of fact, I gotta text Cliff about that before I get going down to AMS and stuff. I just subbed and commented on a video from 11 months ago. Well, I appreciate you subbing. No worries. Yeah, I've been doing this since 2020 now, so it's been 6 years of this channel. So there are quite a few. I think my 400 videos, something like that. Now, mind you, YouTube counts shorts as well. I don't know if they count live streams as videos, but between shorts and longs, if you want to call it that, long form videos, I think I have like 400. I could check it, but everything's on my phone. I'm in Eastern Ohio trying to get some research on what the cart to get back into after being out for 20 years. Any of the brands are really, I don't know of a bad cart anymore. Like, I think the days, and I'm not, it was a fast cart, but you take the Phantom Icon, like not a preferred chassis. Some people absolutely loved it. I take nothing away from it. And there's going to be some people who are like, hey, I absolutely love my Icon. But I had a few people up here in the north that didn't much care for it. But since then, maybe you could throw in Phantom's Deuce, but I disagree with that. The Deuce was fast. I ran it on an open, and I had faster lap times on that than I did the Recon. Now, hitting tires was a little, a little iffy. Had a smaller tire window, but there's nothing present that is off. I will say this, I haven't been on a slack in forever, but I will say that in the Northern Territory, you could consider a slack because they're from this area. Northern dirt is kind of their cup of tea. So the chassis are built to kind of handle this stuff. But there's a bunch of brands. I just went down to Kyle Pease's 2 weeks ago to drop off an engine there. And the Footloose, those things are rolling at AMS. It's a bull ring. Hard to get a hold of stuff. They're doing really well. He's got quite a few customers now down in Wellsville there, that area, that are on Footloose chassis. But any of the major brands are going to do well. It just takes a bit of a setup change. Now, I was saying this to Monk Newsom. Monk Newsom works for Premier. And I went up to the Northeast Kart Expo there, and we're having a conversation, and he was talking just, some people, like these are factory numbers, and they want to put the factory numbers, and no matter what kind of dirt you're on, that, they want to set their cart up how factory says to set it up. Most of the factories the people who produce karts are from down south. So it's going to take a specific setup for down south. It's going to take left. It's going to take a lot of cross, those type of things. To where, you know, I was having this conversation with Monk. I said, you know, the first thing I do, especially in northern tracks, because we need bite, we need rollover, we need right side bite, is I come off that 60% left and I drop it more like the 57. Even if you're running, you know, 63 to 65 cross, and that's the other thing. I said, I run lower cross than you guys, so less cross, less left for our type of looser tracks. Now, does it mean that high left side can't work? No, absolutely not. It's just you're going to find in my opinion, a bigger tire window the lower you come down on cross in the left, or in the less left you have. We don't have that type of grip. So when you run a lot of left, you're going to get a lot of four-wheel drift. It's just not, you know, your momentum is just going to kind of slide the thing to whereas if you have more right side, it's going to want to lay those right side tires into the track. If you're running something like Burris that has, you know, good rollover in the tire, it works even better. But yeah, any major brand is going to be, you know, work really, really good. Sorry, guys, I'm way behind on comments. You guys are doing phenomenal here. Let me stay and work good. What's going on, Mr. Sear? Yeah. I didn't mean to not tag you in that video, but I was like, you know, if they don't know you or they're not friends with you or something like that, I was just like, you know, just right that I had a conversation about M&M plastic bodies, and it just so happened that Performance put that up. What's going on? I am not in East PA. I am in Western New York. I am like, if you know where Rochester, New York is, about 45 minutes south of there. I'm about an hour and a half east of Buffalo, New York. Trying to look for something that is relatively close to me in case I need parts, etc. That's, I mean, not for nothing. Obviously, I don't ride a Slack or anything like that, but Performance Manufacturing that makes Slack, they are in Buffalo, New York. So that is close to you. Also, I'm trying to think. Legend. They are. I want to say Indiana. That is probably wrong. But Legend Racing chassis. Their chassis will perform very well on slick stuff too. I have been watching some of his live streams, and I met that gentleman. Super good dude. Liking the videos, shorts years back. Just watched air filter cleaning and tire washing. All great content. And good refreshers. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's sometimes I think that I'm being not monotonous, but repetitive on some videos. But as my skill set, if you want to call that, as my personality comes out, and I'm willing to, you know, be more bold and outspoken about things, I kind of like the old videos that I had spoke about before. Maybe, you know, I have a different idea. Maybe I have a different concept of looking at things. I like to redo them. So if you see something like, hey, have you done a video like that? Yeah, but, you know, it's not two different Bens, but, you know, one was what started in 2020 is still me, but I was gun shy to say, and now I'm not. I'm not afraid of the camera as much anymore. So I may reiterate some stuff. I love learning on my Slack pursuit. Got so much to learn. Yeah, dude, Slack makes a great chassis. They really are. They're really fast around here. I hope to get back out to Weed Sport, and they're pretty dominant there. Graphics. Who do I use? These graphics are by a Kart graphics. I have the sticker. Where is it? Why am I? Did I take it off there? I thought I had a sticker on there. Anyway, I bet you it's on the cart. We'll look around the cart. How's that sound? Kart graphics. What did I do with a sticker? Oh, right there. Jeez. All right. These are the guys who did my graphics. All right. Kartgraphicsonline.com. And these are my graphics. But somebody was just asking me about graphics. And I will say this, that I'm really impressed with the Carpies. Graphics, they're close to me. They're like an hour away in Olean, New York. I follow them on like TikTok and stuff like that, and Facebook and everything. Carpy's Graphics, I take nothing away from G-Kart Graphics at all. They did a phenomenal job. They got right back to me. I got stuff shipped to me real quick. I don't tear down one to build up another, but I will say this, that looking at Carpy's stuff, I've seen it personally. Down at my local track, and stuff that they put out, they do big late models and this and that, and they do kart graphics, and they do remote control stuff. They're all over the board. They can do screen printing, the whole nine. Anyway, Carpy's has some phenomenal work. So if I get another set of graphics eventually, which means that I want to buy another body, I would check out Carpy's, Carpy apostrophe S, Carpy's. I'm going to be running at Good Hope, Slippery Rock, Lockhart, would have been a Blairsville occasionally where I grew up around. Nice. Yeah, Blairsville was one of my favorite tracks. So I have a few UAS wins there, and a few not UAS wins there. Never ran there on Clone. I absolutely love that place, and unfortunately they decided to close down, and nobody's taking it over. You're coming up the Weedsport at all this year to run. I plan on it. I'm still not. I don't think I have the depth of tire that I need to perform very well there. But if I can make improvements on where I once was, I have a better concept of what I need there and what to do. All the sorts of stuff last year, I was just kind of trying it. But I think, gear-wise, I got things like mini gears, stuff like that, and I think I can at least improve my performance. Plus, I have the Shatter now, and I really want to try that track on this chassis because I think I was on the Recon when I went there last, and it was okay, but I was lap traffic, so it wasn't that okay. I was also, close, sadly. Yeah, that's, I used to love Blairsville. We had a Northeast Divisional race there. Some shenanigans went on after the checkered flag. There was a radiator that got a screwdriver through it. It was I had nothing to do with that. But yeah, I use a blue tire wash and bristle brush to clean mine since I don't have a tire surfacer like him. Yeah, blue tire wash, phenomenal stuff. It really it deep cleans. I have some right here. I broke the top off because I dropped it, but here's I don't know that they sell the other heads anymore. Sometimes I like a spray, sometimes the foam, so it doesn't go anywhere. That is really nice. But sometimes, like if I'm doing tires, if you have a tire surfacer and you're using blue tire wash, a spray bottle just works a little better than the foam, in my opinion, of course. What do you... I keep looking for used carts, but don't know if a 2 to 5 year old roller is worth 2.2K. Yeah, some people try and, I'm not saying that they're not worth it, but some people do try and get blood out of stuff. Now, if it's race ready, you got to figure a clone, even a used clone, is going to be anywhere from the $500 to $800 range. I mean, a brand new clone's, depending on builder, are going to be $1,400 to $1,700, give or take. So if it's race ready, it depends on what they have. But yeah. Hey, Ben, what are the clone motors? Honda, Briggs, also for a clone, where can you buy a carburetor? Clone motors are a knockoff of a Honda, essentially. This is the Snap Your Neck. Snap Your Neck. I always say that wrong, not your neck. But it's I believe the reason they call them clone is because they're based off a Honda motor. And it's a Chinese-built thing, but then with rules AKRA, NKA, and WKA, you can port the heads, and that's where, a clone in itself isn't expensive. The expertise to build one is where all the money comes in, the head porting, the making sure everything's, the flywheel, putting not a hot, but they're hotter than stock, putting a cam in it from dyno cams, things like that to make them improve their performance. You can turn these things, like I think Motorworks said, 72 to 7400, and that's the snappy neck. We'll turn that easily. So some people swear by a little lower of an RPM. That's why when they came out with the CL5, turning more RPM, oh geez, wait, hold on. Good damn, what the heck is this? Start a Q&A. Can I, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Do not answer that. Drag here to end. Yeah, we're going to drag here to, I don't know how to operate this stupid thing. I was going to do a poll thing. Maybe I'll try and figure it out in a bit. Anyway, carburetors, they can, JC Specialties does clone engines, and you can buy carburetors for them there. I also have a backup. I have a backup. This is what clone carburetor is going to look like. This is from Snappy Neck. He is a different pilot in here. Yeah, I'm sorry, not a pilot. But yeah. You ever run Acme way back in the day? I did. UAS nonetheless. That was weird because the track was the highest point of the pits and everything, so you had to push all the way up, and then you ran up here, and we ran it way back in the day, back when I was running a little 125 sedan there. Good times. How much do you put in the bucket? Like a full cap? Oh, talking about putting blue tire wash in I do a couple blubs. Is it necessary? No. Is it recommended putting blue tire wash in water and diluting it? No. If I'm already washing the tire, a little extra suds, a little extra cleaning, that's why I do it. But I just, I buy a gallon and I go blub blub. Sometimes you'll know if you put too much, because like if you're doing a spin, like the tire tool there, if you're doing a spin wash in it, it foams right up, and oh, what a mess. Spray bottle full in it straight, spray the tire, use the brush, and then rinse with water. Yep. If you spray it, do I have a dirty tire? I got lots of dirty tires. Anyway, little demonstration. If you get spray bottle with the foamer, so you're just going to hit it like that, and then just work it in, let it sit a minute or two, kind of work your way around all four tires, and then come back and then wipe it off. That's all you got to do. I got to surface these anyway, but yep. I cut tires. That is nerve-wracking, especially when, I'm not new to it, but I'm still developing my methods. I think I got my reapers a little thin. I have a tire depth gauge coming, so you can expect a video there eventually here. Thank you very much. Better late than never. Yeah, what's going on, Al? Alan's got a nice thing coming his way. I showed my wife, and she was just like, "Oh, that would be nice. I'd go to the races and that." I'm like, I knew it. Yeah, I'm just a simple backyard racer. No official racer here, so I cleaned mine the day after. Had a piece of PVC pipe and put tires to be able to do it. Cheap and little elbow grease. Yep, absolutely. Tools are nice, but it doesn't keep you from racing. I think I've told this story before. I went down to a track in PA, UAS race, Unlimited All-Stars, and it was funny. I went out and I didn't dominate, but I beat everybody in my heat races. Well, unfortunately, we lost the feature. We were all set to go on the grid. The class was, I think, as the PA wings were out right before us, and it started just downpoured. And they called the race, so by, I got the win. They just called it, hey, this is a lineup for your event. That's how everybody's going to get paid out. Well, I got the W from it. Now, is that the way I want to do it? Absolutely not. But the thing was, my buddy Steve Windle Jr., he turned around and he says, no matter if you're in or not, he says, I don't think anybody had anything for you. But we turned around and we're looking at all that. It was trailer, Benz 2001 Caravan. that I had stuffed my cart into, and all the stuff, all the accoutrement around it, trailer, and he says, and you came out with a W because you beat everybody in the heat races. He says, there's something to it. There's, trailers don't make speed. Are they nice? Absolutely. Is it great to have lots of tires and everything? Yeah, you're bringing extra this and that. Absolutely. They're fantastic. I've had a couple 18-foot trailers. Right now I got a 4x8. Does it matter? No. Here, what you do in the shop, the amount of work you do in the shop, what you can afford to do, you can spend as much money as you want to spend on anything. If you want to get into anything, I told you, I come from the beard world. There are people with thousands of dollars of beard oils, and more power to them. That's what they do. They collect it. They love the scents. They do all the stuff. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. But why not? If you are passionate about something, if you only have this amount of money to spend on that thing and you want to do that thing, then you do it. You want to be a backyard racer? That's what you can afford. Do it. Have fun. Who's to say that you have to, have a tire guy and this guy and that guy and spend all this money to have fun? It's kart racing. Yes, you can get serious about it. Yes, you can race for money for it. And win from it, but is it necessary? Absolutely not. Go have fun. People, I get it. We race to win, and everybody wants to win, but what you draw from it, if I'm not first, I'm last. I get it. I understand, but the passion about the sport, and did you get better? Did that day, move you forward in your program? Thanks for the Carpy's recommendation, and just ordered some. Awesome. Yeah, they put out, TikToks. They put out really good content. It's funny stuff, and they just even, them printing shirts or whatever. They're super, super nice people. I think I met the owner. I think it was last year down to Allegheny Memorial Speedway. That's really neat. I wrote that down. Thanks a bunch. Kids racing this year, so I'm trying to find the easiest way to do things. Awesome. I thank you guys for helping one another. That's, if I can help people help other people, where I'm going with that. That's great. Never grew up in Acme, Blairsville, missed those times. Yeah, that Acme was a lot of fun. Flat track, hard to get a hold of. It was fun though. Love it. I'm keep views on the main difference between the Slack Elevate and Slack Pursuit. To be honest, the Pursuit is the old version. They are similar. They have changed. Oh wow! Thank you very much. Can I hurt that? It has a little hurt there. Yay! I heard it. The Slack Pursuit is the old version of the Elevate. They like the design so much. I think they did some spacing stuff with it. Like I think they moved the right front out a little bit. This is hearsay. That's probably not the right term. That is what I've heard. I think they moved some stuff around. Maybe they changed a little bend here, but the basic design is there. Yeah, you find that a lot with new karts. Now there are some outsiders of this mentality, and I think it's great. Millennium being one, their tubing design way different than everybody else's. Ultramax, obviously, they are well within their limits of stepping outside of the box to offer something that somebody else have. But there is a base design that works really, really well for dirt oval kart racing. And then you may be able to tweak on it, like Slack did, going from the Pursuit to the Elevate, where it's the same basic design, but you start tweaking on it a little bit. Look at Charger, for instance. They haven't changed their Prodigy design in forever. Now, they have different tubings. They have, the Rogue and the Cadet and stuff like that, which is different tubings. That is the tweaking. They found what works for them, and until they find something else within that range that improves all areas. I mean, you can, like I brought up the Phantom Deuce earlier. Phantom heard people say that the Recon didn't have enough roll speed. It has a lot of mechanical grip in it for the turns, which is great, but it didn't have enough roll speed. So Harold Wiggins went in, he created the Deuce, double rail system, rolls like nobody else. little, a little bit of smaller tire window there, so it was harder to get a hold of the turn. So maintaining that, even though you had better roll speed, it had a little bit, like I said, a smaller tire window. So maintaining that speed through the corner, and people didn't much care for them. And then they came out with a Scythe, which, in my opinion, gets into the corner better than the Recon. The Recon gets off the corner better. That is my, UAS experience only. Well, no, I guess I ran both in Clone. But I think both those chassis are fine. Some people complain about the Scythe. I've 2022 sitting over here, and I got no qualms about it. It won me the Central New York Championship on a UAS ride. So, all right. I'm sorry. Difference. Okay. Truck bed tight. Yeah, I thought about going down to Hunterstown in my truck bed, but I got a 5.5 foot box. I could make it work if I need to, but I may drive out. I put my trailer on the road today. I may drive out Friday night. It's a 4-hour trip, and then catch some Z's in the back of the truck. Bring some toothpaste. Get after it in the morning type of thing. Skip the coffee, go for a Red Bull or something. But to be there in the morning, because I don't know, gates are, probably 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and that would mean I'd have to leave here at like 3 a.m., and I'm not about that. I'd rather drive down the night before and sleep at least a couple hours in my truck. So tow the trailer, everything can stay in the back. I could, I got a full-size truck, so I can curl up in the back seat, no problem. Best thing also is you get to meet amazing people like that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't want to take away from winning. The people who are there to win and it is their motivation to go and win, kudos. Fantastic. But for the people that don't have the budgets to do it, go have fun. Improve. Did you get faster? What the leaders are, they have these many tires, they have this much money, they have, all this invested. Did you improve? Did you get closer to them? They're running 19.1s. Did you get down to a 19.3? Dude, I mean, within 0.2 of them, not bad. Maybe it was, 0.4 off before. But did you improve? This is all, it's just positive gain. Nobody just jumps in stuff for the first time and then as a rocket ship. I mean, I suppose it's possible if you have, an elite style team and they get somebody that, just inherently has a skill set to drive a kart, cool. But that's usually not the case. Usually it is a long time coming. I'm 20, my daughter will be 24 years this year. So I've been racing for 24 years in karts, and I've done very well for myself over the years. I'm still learning, still make mistakes. And you guys see, I try and show, I'm not infallible or whatever that stuff is. Yeah. I try and do good. Sometimes it doesn't go. Sometimes racetrack is just racetrack. Yeah, you're very welcome. Any thoughts on Hermes Sadler Premier Karts? Some people will like to dub them as elite, I guess, because it's Hermes Sadler, because they have, they charge a premium price. That being said, it is not it's not some kind of factory where they're just greedy and looking all, they're if you follow Hermes Sadler Racing on Facebook, you see them in the shop. It's dudes working on karts. They just, the crew of people they have create a product that they believe in, that they want. This is the type of effort we're putting into it. Do I think they're fantastic? Absolutely. I've seen them up close. Welds are meticulous. Their knowledge, just talking with Monk, who's an employee with them, very knowledgeable, knows what the kart wants, when the kart wants it, understands that, sometimes things don't work, tires don't work. And when they're V3, I think they took a whole lot of shade because they, as I understand it, a lot of people were plugging V2 numbers into their V3. They were scaling it how that. Now the V3 is different. The design is different. So I think some people were getting disheartened with not being able to perform the way the V2 was because they were not putting V3 numbers in it, which is understandable. but they're, as far as, quality control and what they offer, if you want to be, an elite, considered an elite type of manufacturer, you better put the elite type of effort into your product. And, from everything I know, I've never, I just had conversations with Monk there, but I've never obviously talked to Hermie or anything, but I do love that they put incentive programs behind their drivers that, hey, if you win on our product, there's money to be made from the manufacturer. Hey, if you make our stuff look good, if you can run up front, if you can pick up these wins, sometimes they do incentive programs, not all the time, but they're pay attention to their page, and that's awesome. They're putting their money where their mouth is. Hey, we think we have the best product. We think that you can win on this stuff. Pardon me. If you can win on our stuff, you might end up, getting a little extra ching, and that helps everybody. So, but as far as design and quality, I think it's fantastic. I really do. I have been running a left rear 8.5. This rim I have is 8.7 for my left rear. That would increase the stagger for the rear to help it turn. Anything else I should consider? Yes, it will spread out the tire. So your standard rim. This is an 8.5. If you go to 8.75, it will expand the tire and get you more stagger, conceivably. Consider this, though. The tire design is built for an 8.5. That's the baseline. What do you have? A 6.5, 8.5. Those are your left sides. 10 for your right side. The tires are constructed around that design. Now, you can mount them on a wider rim, but what you're going to start to do is you're going to start to play with a shoulder, and that may have I don't want to say a bad consequence. It may work out for you, but once you start playing with the sidewall of the tire and the shoulder of where the imprint is actually going on track, it may have an unintended consequence. That may be good. That may be bad. Oh, something that you can do it. I have done it. I've at one point in time, I think I had some 10.5-inch right side rims. I don't know why I need them that wide, but like with the 900s, the really wide tires. When like Vaga came out with that, and Maxxis came out, we thought, well, put it on a wider rim. That does shrink the circumference of the tire because now you're taking up sidewall, which brings the circumference down. Then you gotta put a ton of heat into it and blow it up beyond all belief to try and stretch the tire. And that in itself, with everything, there's a yin and a yang. Yes, you move one thing to cure whatever thing you're trying to accomplish, but it may have an unintended consequence in another realm. It may, there's a yin and there's a yang. You may do this to correct this, but it may, if you correct loose entry by tightening it up on entry, you may tighten up center. That type of, there's a give and a take to everything that you do. Hey Ben, watched all your tire tech videos, but didn't see how often to do internals, weekly, monthly, yearly. Depends on tire. If I have always been one, I ran a lot of Vega yellows for a lot of years. I only treated them once because I heavy dosed them internally. And it permeated, the whole carcass of the tire. And then I would just work the outside for whatever the track was calling for that day. A Burris, I don't recommend internally prepping a Burris. But if you're doing Maxxis, I would follow more of a Maxxis protocol. That is the tire cycle, if you will. The 2, 3, 1 week out type of tire. They do take re-rolls more often. There's something about the Maxxis rubber that will accept a re-roll. Now, how heavy that is, I don't run a ton of Maxxis, so it's hard to say, how much to do a re-roll. I did re-roll some Vega yellows because they had been sitting around a while. I wanted to, get some grip built back into them, but it depends on tire. The Reapers and Burris, I don't suggest rolling them internally. I know some people do. Know some people have had success with doing that. But something like a Maxxis or a Vega yellow, depends on your grip level. If the tire starts to give up, if you feel it fading at the end of the run, it might be time to re-roll. So it's people's preference. I have a tendency, though, if I get yellow, like I said, I roll them once and then maybe a re-roll. But the thing, my experience is skewed because I was running them on an extraordinarily heavy cart, UAS. We buzzed the tires a lot. I usually ate tires up before I would need to re-roll them. Like, these tires are no good anymore. So I would chew them up. You get them so soft and we're abusing them so hard that it's hard for me to say. But yeah, I mean, you can re-roll track tech stuff. I just have never done a video on it because it's brand particular, and with especially Maxxis, it's Maxxis particular. Pardon me. And I don't run a lot of Maxxis, so I don't have a ton of experience with it. We run Burris at our asphalt track, Evans Mills Raceway Park. Which would be the best, 33, 44, or 55? Ooh, that is a great question. Now, there are two trains of thought. I hate to be so floppy-doppy on it, so wishy-washy on these answers. I know that Vega yellows straight out of the box work great on asphalt. A lot of people, when I went up to the Northeast Expo there again, a lot of people they just buy Vega yellows, and they're sticky and they run well, and they clean them off and they run them again. They'll run down to the cords. They're a great tire. That being said, typically on asphalt track, a 55 is going to be much harder. If I were to try it, I would probably try 33s, but I got to think that a 55 might be a better choice for it, because especially new tires, a 33 on a hard, grippy track is going to chew up the inside edge. I think I sanded it a little bit, but I ran this. These tires, you can kind of see it. See that little bit of chew up there? I ran these. These were brand new last year. These are 2025s. I ran them at Weedsport. Weedsport, high bite. Everybody there was running 23 or 24s. If you were to run a 33, I might suggest running an older year 33. So it has been seasoned. It is hardened. It will take a little more abuse. I ran these last year at Weedsport. Very high bite, calcium type track. And I ate the inside of the tire alive. So new tires, probably going to suggest 55s just because they'll take a little more abuse. I know that Hunterstown used to be a Burris track, and they ran 55s down there, and that's extraordinarily high bite. So I would lean towards 55s unless you can get your hands on some older, 23s or 24 Burris 33s. They might do okay. Asphalt, I'm assuming you're going to want, 60 durometer somewhere in there. Bought a new body coming soon. So nervous mounted as my first time. And he tips, should I try to build table and have a flat surface? Yes, flat surface. I usually lay mine on the ground. I put it right on the concrete floor here, and then I like to attach the sides to the nose, and then the cart sitting flat on the ground, I just slide it back, and then look for the center line of where the front wheel is on the cutout for the front wheels. For me, that's the best method. Now, I will say this, doing that has, like the side panels, for instance, they're going to have a tendency to want to, they're sitting on the ground, whereas your Nerf bar is raised up. I do like to find some, probably, I don't have any down here, but I got some like 1/2 inch, maybe it's 1 inch by like 4, I don't know, boards. I can see it. I'm telling you guys. See that board right there? Yeah, I got a couple long boards like that, and I put them under the sides to pick the sides up and even get it under the front of the nose, so it just raises the whole body up. Same thing, look at the cutout where your front spindle is, line it directly up in the center of the wheel, get down, look at it, okay, this is where I want it, and then you can start to drill the holes for the to mount on the front porch, and then, make sure that there's enough room here. That's how I mounted this body. Oh, geez, I keep on tripping over the same stupid thing. You would think I'd move it. We'll come down here real quick. Yeah. But you see how that, I try and get this. It can hang down a little bit, but especially on the left side, you're going to want to be very, very careful about that, because the lower your left side hangs, the more it's going to have a tendency to dig in, and that's no good. So that's why I do that. So those are thin enough. Find something, that would pick up the side panels so they're not sitting on the ground while your cart is on the ground. Just the way I do it. I do want to get the new. This is, again, we'll flip the camera here. So this is last year's John's Kart Body, JKB from JC Specialties. He has a brand new one out. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot, but I'm just not in the market right now for buying a brand new body. But if I pull the trigger on some new graphics eventually here, I'll probably have to buy a new body because I don't want to take these ones off. Half inch, yeah, give or take. Thanks for the answer to my question. Thanks. Yeah, dude, no problem. Luke. Luke, the book that Frank Ash wrote on a detailed procedure oval cart. Yeah, I still been gonna get that. I have an aversion to reading paragraphs. Cool. Books, I'm like, the last book I read was The Rock Says, back when I was really into wrestling. The story of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And it was like, I think my nephew, how old is he now? God, he's got to be 25, at least 25. I read the book while I was waiting for my sister-in-law to give birth to my my nephew Colin. That's the last time I read a book. Articles all day long, multiple paragraphs, cool. Losing myself in the world of a book, even if it's informative, which I should really pick that up. And if I dissect it, section by section, I could probably digest it and try and understand it better. But I have this thing, like, it's ADD. I know it's ADD. Like, my mom years ago, she's like, I'm sorry, we never had you diagnosed. It's like, man, I have built a great life for myself. Even though I'm squirreling all the time, it's fine. Sometimes I'm a lot to take. Ask my wife, but it's for me to sit down and concentrate on something very difficult. The world of TikTok, shorts, things like that feed right into me. Like, yeah, and things are. We'll look it up. Yes, oval cart technology, fantastic. There's also. There's a couple other channels, Speed Solutions. He does some very informative videos as well. And I'm not a reader, but that book has a lot of information. Yeah, that's been gonna, shoulda, woulda. It would probably be great for content, not so much that I could just regurgitate what they have on there, but my take on it. Okay, this is what oval cart technology says. This is my perception of it and what I think, trying to explain, in layman's terms, if you want to say it, that's how I understand it. I try and take complex situations and boil them down to much easier to understand. Everything can be simplistic, even though it's complicated. Okay, why did this do this? Because of this. Why did that do that? Because of that. Oh, okay, I understand now. Not, just big words and, My wife tried to go back to college one time. She says, hey, read this paragraph. And I'm like, this isn't in English. She's like, it is in English, and it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, no, it does not. As you weed support, put new clay down. Going to be interesting. Hopefully, we will be around the weekend that you come up. Yeah. It would be nice to have. Weed Sport is great, but the facility is phenomenal. Manicured, well taken care of. They knew what they were doing. New clay might add an element of throwing, and not that I need, people to be off their game, but and the fast guys are going to be fast regardless, so they will figure it out. But adding an element in there that, maybe your years of experience there, maybe it's not out the window, but you can't use much of that. That would be exciting. That would give somebody the opportunity to excel there. Now, maybe the track gets even faster. That's a very real possibility too. I mean, years and years of treating a track, prepping it the same way, the soil will degrade. Turning it up, it's gonna bring. I could do a video on that eventually too. Like even if you've got clay, every time you turn up a track, you're bound to infuse something else into the surface. If it's pure clay, once you turn it up, you're going to put dirt in there, you're going to put sand in there, it's going to change the surface. It is not going to be the exact same thing. You know, we don't run on asphalt, we run on dirt. It's going to be forever changing, and that dirt allows moisture to come up, obviously rain, how much water you put on it, things like calcium to keep the moisture in the track, to really help it bite up. All those things change the track surface for good or worse. You know, that sometimes a track puts on new clay and it's rough for, a year or two, and they can't quite get a hold of it because there's too much of something in it. And then once they get a hold of it, we'll see from there. Yeah, I really hope to get up there. I plan to go there. I don't have a set time. I do see that they're racing on my birthday. Now, April 26th is the Frostbuster. Do I want to go racing on my birthday? I kind of do. I do, even though it's my birthday. I do have to consider that it's a Sunday and that my wife is probably going to want to do something for my birthday. Now, could we do something Saturday night that allows me to race on my birthday? Maybe. But yeah. I signed up for Discord because of, I think it was something beard related, beard group, something or other. I don't understand it. But I've said it before, I'm Gen X. We are the analog generation that adapted to technology. Some things, I don't want to say it's beyond me. I just have never taken the time to figure it out. There's a lot of words. And I'm like, my son is super smart. Goes to college for computer game design. Here, I'm bald, in case nobody knew. My head's sweating. He's really smart and stuff. I guarantee you he could explain to me and show me how things work. If I ever asked him, I'm positive he'd let me know. But I just haven't taken the time. But yeah, I know it's a very good way to connect with people. It would be cool to do, but I can't. Right now, putting something else on my table is just, I have all these ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that. And then I was just like, where am I going to find time of this? I did find myself, I will say this, that check your generators. My generator did fire up, not after a whole bunch of pulling. It's new season. Check your generator. Does it need a plug? Does it need an oil change? I was like, when's the last time I changed the oil on this? And I'm like I've ever changed the oil on this thing. Mind you, I haven't run it a ton, like a ton, but I know you're supposed to run it, break-in period, change the oil. Never did that. It's been years. And lucky for me, the oil wasn't that bad, but I took apart my, I just have a Predator Honda knockoff generator there for the tire surfacer, for lights, things like that. But I actually changed the oil last night. And also my switch was a little loose, and I got that bolted back up. So that was fun to do. You know what I did? I went to YouTube and I figured out how to do it. And I also was able, for some reason, my Raceiver, if you guys run Receivers and they ever get off the channel, when you flip them on, it's 5400 is the channel that they're standard on, and most tracks use that transmission in order for a Raceiver to work. There is a video, if you type it into either Google or into YouTube, there's a video from the owner of Raceiver. Explain. I have the Nitro B. He's the owner of Nitro B, and he explains how to reset that. I used it, worked, bam, got that done. How important is a tach to have, you think? Gearing wise, I say it matters a lot because you can underturn an engine and be fine. You'll be slow, but you'll be fine. If you put too many teeth on it and you overturn the engine, you will start floating valves and you will start causing harm to the valve train in your engine. If you go out and you're twisting your engine, you're going to know it. It's going to carry on like it doesn't like it. If you twist them too hard at high RPM, you're going to weaken springs and you're going to have all sorts of valve issues going on there because they can't keep up with the RPM. So there is that. Having a tach is a great idea to have it merely for gearing. You know, temp-wise, we don't run a temp on them, at least a clone, you don't. I asked my engine builder, my first engine builder there, I said, temp gauge? He's just like, I don't even know what they'd run. Is there a way to do it? Are there people that do it? Sure. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's people that are very meticulous about the technology, but typically RPM is what you're looking for. Don't underturn it. Don't overturn it. When you come off track, hey, it didn't pull enough. You read on there, I only turned 6,600 RPM on a clone. That'd be why. Should be closer to $7,000. Should be 68 to $7,000 all day long. Some people are confident enough to run there with the new cams and stuff like that, running them up to 72, 7,400, something like that. Great, especially what I know about the internals of a clone is you don't want to do long sustained RPM unless you have the billet rod in them. Will a standard rod take it? Sure. But you're playing with fire. You're really, could it come apart? I mean, it's not that high of a quality to whereas a billet rod is going to be able to take that sustained RPM. Also on rebuilds, they find it not so much wear when you go to the billet rod. Those are both, not only the cam, but the rod are now legal in WKA, NK, and AKRA. So those are, yes, engines are getting more expensive, but they're doing things that conceivably is going to elongate the life of these things. Sometimes they let go, there's nothing you can do about it. All engines have their problem. Two-strokes have their problem. I know that for a fact. But yeah, I did want to bring up I was going to do a question. Hold on. One of these things was, what's this? We're going to hit buttons and see. What? Add a sticker. Oh, poll. There we go. Hold on, guys. Not up. There we go. Done. Start poll. We have the technology. Oh, goodness. No. Where do I want to put this? Put this down here. Oh, hey! I don't want it in front of my face. I guess it doesn't matter. Hey, I put a poll up. It's the first time I'm doing that. I had somebody suggest that like as a topic, and we have a whopping 2 minutes left in the stream. I'll go longer than that, but they suggested let's have a discussion on gas prices. It's weird not seeing myself. Anyway. Is it going to affect, I'll talk on my experience. Are gas prices going to affect me? To a degree, no. I only planned on hitting a couple tracks that were a ways away from me. Now, that I constantly get asked to go to different races. Hey, you should go to Ohio. Hey, you should come down and race with me. Hey, you would really like this track. Sometime it would be like, those races are usually near the, we'll say 7 to 10 hour range for me. Is it going to affect me even considering them? Absolutely they are. That is as if, last year was already like, ooh, I don't know if I can do that or not. That's a no-go. Now, that being said, Hunterstown, Selins Grove, going down into PA, Grand Nationals down in going down to where is it? Tennessee. Those places, no, it's not going to affect me. Will it affect me going anywhere in New York? Probably not. If I go to Weedsport, if I choose to go out to Dreamfield, if I would like to go out and try and hit Turkey Trot at some point. I don't know if it'll be this year or not, but they usually have a big race. If it doesn't conflict with anything, if I still have the finances to do it, that type of thing. Is it going to affect me going anywhere in New York? No, it is not. Yes, it's more expensive, than it was, but is it going to curb me from going down to Wellsville? Nope, it's not. I'll try and hit Wellsville as much as I possibly can. It's only an hour from me. It's not that bad. My $20 in fuel just turned to $30 in fuel. Okay, this is acceptable. Now, those super long races, that I may get invited to, that people would like me to go to, they if I even had a glimmer of considering them, nope. Will I be going to? Nope. Will I be going to, Talladega, something like that? Will I be going down to some of these bigger races? No. That probably, what was already a soft no just turned into a nail in the coffin. Forget it. Unless I trip and fall into a whole bunch of money, which never seems to happen. All these years of racing, I've never fallen into a pile of money. But yeah, that question got brought up, and I thought, you know what? I will try and do better, guys. You guys did phenomenal this live stream. Last week, I was just like, oh man, what do I talk about? Nobody's really talking. Oh, I got nothing to say here, and I was just coming up with stuff on the fly type of thing, which is not a problem, but I wasn't prepared for it. You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for keeping me talking and bringing up subjects, because that kind of, the one thing that I did want to bring up got pushed all the way to the end. So, it's not as, I thought that maybe putting up the poll was going to make for a, 100%, this is going to affect me, but racers are racers. All right, this is driving me nuts. Thank you for participating in that. But the racers are racers. Racing's expensive already. Yep, gas prices, that hopefully when things settle down, I don't know how to put that. I don't talk about world events or politics or anything like that on this channel. But when things settle down, when they come back to normal, somebody had put it that when things get more expensive than what they once were, they never fully come back to where they once were. True. Maybe not, 100% true, but for the most part, when a box of Cheerios goes up to, $4.50, a box, and it was once $4 a box, does it ever really come back to $4? Usually not. It's $4.25 now. Okay. If gas comes back down, everybody's going to go, woo! And, off to the races. Pun intended. Boom. But yeah, things are going well here. I mean, oh my God. If you guys could have seen my wife, I put my wife in my cart to sell it. Now, I'm going to do a video on that because I saw, this is me. I know you're supposed to scale cart loaded. Nothing changed. I set my cart up last year for the race at Dreamfield, and everything, my camber and my toe was exactly the same, even with the way I scaled it without anybody in it. Put my wife in it. I don't know how much she weighs. She wouldn't allow me to turn the scales on. I didn't need her for that. I just needed her to weight the cart. Nothing changed. And I was like, that it's anecdotal evidence, but also it kind of plays into, hey man, I haven't been super far off all these years doing things the way I do them, doing things by myself out in the garage type of thing. It was getting her in my seat. It was, she was so uncomfortable. She's sitting there and she's like, I can't believe you racing this thing. 24 years, 24 years in a lay down seat. She's like, don't you want to be sitting up? I'm like, no, I mean, I'm kind of sitting up. I'm taller than she is, so I'm kind of sitting up. I can see fine. I was like, man, put some wedge panels on there, try and see around those things. She's like, oh no. It was just, my wife is not she loves the outdoors. She's a girly girl. She appreciates the finer things in life, the non-dirty things in life, and having her, it was something. There's no way in God's green earth she was ever going to let me try and record that happening, because she has this no Debbie on film policy. But for me, hilarious, great story, fantastic. It will be in my memories forever. Trying to fit my wife into my cart seat, it was absolutely phenomenal. But all right, guys, I really appreciate you coming by. Not super positive what I'm going to do on a video for Sunday. I have 2 ideas. I have lots of ideas to do videos, but 2 that are on the forefront of my mind. We'll see what comes about. I love to give you guys kind of a heads up. Hey, this video is coming Sunday. You know, for the people that are in the here and in the know. You're like, hey, Ben's doing a video on this. But sometimes I just don't know until I come out to shoot the video on Saturday what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes it's, you know, within that morning I'll be drinking coffee and then, okay, I'm doing this video. And then, you know, the talking part's only half of it. Then I have to edit and construct and add in B-roll and pictures and all that stuff. And that's more the creativity comes in. But the base information sometimes doesn't come to me till I'm drinking coffee on Saturday morning. I do, however, have to shoot the following week's video a little earlier because I'm going to Hunterstown. And then I'm vlogging for Hunterstown, the WKA race. I'm doing that. So hopefully that will, in 3 weeks from now, hopefully that will be the video for that Sunday. My experience at Hunterstown, my first WKA race ever. We'll see how it goes. But thank you very much, everybody. And to the 8 people that have stuck with me this entire way, I truly appreciate you. And have a great night. I will catch you guys on the flip side.